Hello and welcome to the 2025 Class D Section 3 Bob Johnson bracket breakdown here with the NBC Watertown. This is the boys Class D here in Section 3. Pretty intriguing bracket, honestly. I mean, we could talk about this for quite some time. We have some interviews to play as well from some of the coaches here in the Frontier League that are in this bracket. Let's get right into it there, Connor.
All right, so starting things off here in Class D, Copenhagen 9 and 11. They're the 8 seed, and they're taking on Mater D, the 9 seed, 6 and 10 on the year. We have a chance to talk to Coach Spaulding about the Copenhagen Golden Knights and how their season went.
Yeah, Logan, you've had a pretty good year this year. You had a chance to win a Frontier League title, and your team's put in the work. What does this year mean to your program?
I'm extremely proud of this group this year because at the end of the day, we only returned 2 players from last year's squad, and we lost essentially the whole starting 5 from last year with an intermix of one boy on our team that was in and out of the starting lineup, and it's essentially my entire JV team from last year, and the fact that they're all stepping up and showing leadership, camaraderie, and just really growing as a team. I'm excited for sectional play, and hopefully after that tough loss to Sackets in the finals, it'll at least give them some motivation and excitement to want to win tomorrow, and not just win, but win convincingly. So.
Yeah, Logan, looking up ahead, you've already seen Sackets twice. We've seen you guys play Sackets twice. That's a probable matchup for you guys. Assuming you take care of business. How, you guys already maybe thinking about that just a little bit, or how's that going?
I mean, I'll be honest, it's hard not to look beyond like our first game. However, that's what we're focused on right now is Matter Day. And at the end of the day, in order to play Sackets again, we've got to take care of business and beat that win that first round game.
Awesome, Logan. We'll be pulling for you, man. We'll be rooting for you as you head down to this bracket. And hopefully, we'll raise a banner. All right, let's get back into this here. Town of Webb will be the 5 seed at 7 and 12. They will host Seelick Valley. They are 8 and 12 on the year there. The 7 and 10 matchup, this should be a good one. New York Mills at 6 and 14 also will be hosting. They will host Belleville Henderson at 6 and 14 as well. So a pretty even matchup there. For the 6 seed, Remsen at 5 and 13 will be hosting Lime. The Lakers are coming in at 5 and 14, and that is the first round matchups there. Going into the first round byes, Sackets Harbor with the number 1 seed at 16 and 4. They will play host to the winner of Copenhagen and Mater Day. They've seen Copenhagen already twice this year, possibly a third matchup. So we had a chance to talk to Coach Jeff Robbins. And Jeff, I want to ask you about that. You've seen Copenhagen twice already, possibly seeing him a third time here. How are you feeling possibly going into that potential matchup?
Yeah, potentially Copenhagen playing Mater Day. So, yeah, I was just talking with Logan Spaulding a little while ago. So, excuse me. Yeah, we'd like to sometimes face new teams in sectionals, because we've seen them a couple times, but it is what it is. Hopefully they can, get a win in the first round, and then we can match up with them again.
Yeah, Jeff, makes sense. I know Marcus Castine is one of the better players maybe in the whole section, gets a lot of credit for you guys, but you have some other players who are really talented too. Do you mind maybe shouting out a couple of those guys?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our whole senior class, this group of kids, they've been with me forever. Jake Peters and Ethan Tracy were on varsity as 8th graders because that was the year right after COVID when we didn't have playoffs or sectionals or anything. We didn't have a JV team, so they moved up as 8th graders, and they actually got some playing time because we are upperclassmen at the time. We were really, we only had couple seniors, couple juniors, so they got some time off the bench as 8th graders and then played a lot as 9th graders. That year we went 19 and 2, and then as sophomores, they were starters. We went to the sectional finals, and last year obviously going to the state finals. And then kids like Dylan Aubert, I mean, he would have been up. He would have, played a ton as a sophomore, but he moved to South Carolina for a year and then came back. And even Connor Brown's been on varsity since his sophomore year. So, we have 5 seniors that have played a ton of minutes in big games. They're just tough-minded kids. They play really hard defensively this year. They've really taken it up a notch. They just get after it, and those are the guys we lean on. And then we have some underclassmen, some juniors and sophomores that get in there and play their role. But really the seniors are going to be the guys that we're going to lean on. They've been there. They've been through the gamut. So, have a lot of confidence in those guys.
Awesome, Jeff. We really appreciate your time. We'll be rooting for you. Congratulations on that number 1 seed in that Frontier League title. Possibly a championship banner in the works as well. So, thank you for your time today, Jeff. All right, let's get back into the rest of the bracket here on the 4 seed Stockbridge Valley. They are 14-5. They will play host to that 5 and 12 seed matchup. Madison with the 2 seed at 19-1. That's a tough break. Being 19-1, that's the part of this whole Bradley Terry breakdown with the scoring and your strength of schedule. They played victim to that. I mean, 19-1, you expect to be the number 1 seed. They're at the 2 seed. They'll play host to the winner of the New York Mills Belleville Henderson matchup, and then De Ruyter at 11-6. At the 3 seed, they will play host to the winner of the 6-11 Remsen or Lyme. So some intriguing matchups here. We've covered Class D boys basketball pretty extensively this year at NBC Watertown with your stream team. Connor being the voice of the stream team here, going to a lot of the games and broadcasting these matchups here. We've seen Copenhagen, we've seen Sackets Harbor, we've seen them play each other. Actually, Yep. You can go back and watch that matchup for the title there that the NBC Watertown live streamed. It's easy to just write off that Sackets Harbor is going to run away with this division, or with this class, I should say. But there's a potential to see a team that they've already seen twice already, which, it's hard to beat any team 3 times in a row. And then you have Madison right there nipping at the heels, too, at 19-1. They're a good ball team as well. So, I mean, what do you see here in this Class C matchup?
Yeah, the first time we've seen Copenhagen play Sackets twice now this year. That second time in the Frontier League Championship. The first time they saw each other was not close, with all due respect to Copenhagen. They got blown out in that game. Sackets just looked like they were in a different class, different level than Copenhagen. Frontier League Championship game just the other week. Completely different story. Copenhagen hung around with them for most of that game, and margin only ended up being 10 or 12 points, something like that. I mean, it was a close game, hard fought between those two teams, and fully expect Copenhagen to give Sackets a good run for their money. I know Jeff is maybe a little bit more anxious about that than he might let on as well. So that's like you said, really tough to beat a team 3 times. Doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't matter how much better you may be or maybe perceived to be than that other team. If you play them 3 times, you get really familiar with who you need to shut down, who you need to stop, and how you need to do it. That'll be a really fun one to watch, assuming Copenhagen can take care of business against Mater Dei in that first game.
Yeah, I think I said Class C earlier. This is definitely Class D. But an interesting kind of side note here, and with a lot of these teams are facing it, and boys and girls and multiple classes, is they just got the seedings on Thursday. Some of these guys are playing on Friday. So like tonight, Copenhagen is hosting Mater Dei, 8-19 matchup. Less than 24 hours ago is where they got their matchup to figure out who they're even going to play. So kind of a wild turn of events here, as of lately. Speaking of wild turn of events, there were some upsets across the entire Section 3 landscape last night that really hindered Copenhagen's chances here. So speaking with Logan a couple days ago, he was thinking he was going to land at the 5 seed. And then a couple of those games, the last-minute games that got put forth, they fell all the way down to the 8 seed. So that's a bad break here for the Golden Knights, who really had a good year this year at 9-11, fighting for a Frontier League championship. And then they fell from a 5 seed to an 8 seed here in sectionals. So obviously we're rooting for all the Frontier League teams here to show out. It's unfortunate that we get the matchup so early in sectional play, potentially between Sackets Harbor and Copenhagen. We'd love to see them battle it out at the SRC again because, we talked about that first matchup. Wasn't overly close. Then you go to that championship matchup, and Copenhagen hung around. If they got them at the SRC, it's a completely different environment.
Absolutely.
You don't know what might have happened there. But give the props to Sackets Harbor, who's played well all year long. Marcus Castine is an incredible ball player, and this is where the stars shine out. But expect those role players for Sackets Harbor to step up as well. And it was nice to see Coach Robbins give them some props as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's the wrap up here for the Class D Section 3 bracket. This has been the Bob Johnson Bracket Breakdown here on NBC Watertown. We're doing a breakdown for every class, and both boys and girls here. You can catch them on our Facebook pages, on our YouTube page as well. So find the class, find the boys or girls side that you look forward to. Find the matchups online as well. We didn't talk about that here in this video, but find the matchups online. You go out and support these teams. They've earned it. They've worked hard all year long, and we definitely want to create the best environment that we can for them. So this has been the Class D 2025 Bob Johnson Bracket Breakdown here for Section 3 boys basketball. And we'll be doing a bracket breakdown for all of them, so stay tuned for that.